Good afternoon, gardeners. My name is Rachel, and this is the video for my Single Seed Challenge 2023. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach the world. Wonderful words from Miss Harriet Tubman. I think it's always good to start the day, especially in gardening, with a little bit of encouragement. So I'm going to also come over here and show you my grow setup. So I have a little work table over here that I do to sort out my paperwork, make notes, and check my files. And I also have a calendar up here where I write down when I've planted certain seeds and when I need to plant others. And then I have my grow system over here, which is a set of shelves with grow lights. But before we get into those details, I would like to do a shout out to some really special companies. None of these companies support me, but in terms of financial or any kind of sponsorship, but I really appreciate their philosophy, and I've ordered products from them over the seasons, and they've done very well by me. So our first one is Bella Seed Company. We have Hasty Roots, and we have the Southern Seed Exchange. All three of these are Etsy companies that you can go and find and buy products from their shops. Some of the ones that you're probably more familiar with are the Southern Seed Exchange, Botanical Interests, and also I have the Wood Prairie Family Farm, which is one of the companies that contribute to some of our more favorite seed catalogs, and this is where I got my Baltic Road seed potatoes this year. I also would like to say a very, very important thank you to Gardner Scott, Black Gumbo Southern Gardening with Scott Head, and to Tony O'Neill of Simplified Gardening. These three channels have been a lifeline to me in my gardening experience. I am a part of the Gardner Scott family, and I have access to their Facebook page and have gotten a myriad of advice and pictures and experiences from other gardeners that have just been a lifeline to me throughout all of my gardening adventures and sometimes misadventures. And that misadventure is what brings me to the Single Seed Challenge, because I ordered a bunch of tomatoes from an Etsy company that specializes in tomatoes, and I am so happy with everything that I've ever gotten from them. But there was a mistake made, and I ordered a set of Napoli plum tomatoes. They were a paste tomato, but somehow the seeds got mixed up in the package, and I ended up with a pink oxheart. I refer to this as the pink oxheart mystery. The reason why is that even after corresponding and sending pictures, nobody seems to know exactly what variety of tomato this is. We just know that it is a variety of pink oxheart, and it could be several cultivars of that particular variety of tomato. But even though this tomato plant, I only had one of them, it was only one that survived, I babied it because I really wanted it to grow. I struggled with it. And at the end of the day, I ended up getting only one fruit, but it was almost a pound. And it was the most wonderful tasting and beautiful tomato I think I've ever seen. So I went ahead and I saved the seeds, and here they are. There's two reasons why I've chosen this to be my single seed challenge. One is because I really want to try to grow this tomato, and I'm hoping that if I grow it, now knowing what kind of variety it is, that I'm going to be more successful and give the plant of more of what it needs to grow healthy, where before I was treating it like a different type of tomato and obviously didn't quite give it what it needed. The other reason is I want to know if I did well saving the seeds. So even just germinating these is going to be a win for me, because I will know that I have successfully saved seeds from something I've grown, produced, and moved forward with. So here we go. My single seed challenge pot is right here. It is a 2-inch square peat pot that I have already filled 2/3 of the way with potting soil and the rest of the way with a seed starting mix. I have thoroughly soaked the pot. It's very damp right now. I wanted to make sure that this was done because most seed starting mixes and even potting soil have a lot of peat or coir in it, which are hydrophobic. And it takes a lot for them to actually absorb that initial set of water, especially since this was a very dry mix when I opened it up. So all of that has been pre-done. I created for my seed starting this little bamboo skewer that I have marked with the increments of 1 inch so that I can do more accurate seed planting. So I've already hollowed this out and we've checked our measurement and we know that that's going to be the right depth for a tomato, which is a 1/4 inch. It does look a little bit deeper, but I'm not going to be covering it all the way. So when it's all finished, it will only be a 1/4 of an inch. So again, I'm going to put 4 seeds in this little pot. And some of these, I realized with the seed saving that some of my seeds really stuck together. And so I need to make sure that that's something that I ask questions about and maybe learn how to avoid in the future. Because you notice when you get seeds in a package, they're not normally stuck together. So I'm going to go ahead and put my 4 seeds in. Let's get one more in there. I've got to remember to move the camera around because I'm looking at it instead of looking at it through the camera. Yeah, this is my first video doing this, so bear with my amateur hour as I'm getting this put together. Okay, so then we're going to take our little stick here and I flip this over and use the point and make sure that my seeds are where I want them. So I'm going to move those over, make sure that they all have some nice room. That actually ended up with 5 seeds in there. That's okay, because again, you know, as we can divide them, maybe they'll all sprout, maybe they won't. We'll have a good opportunity to do that. And again, we just lightly cover those seeds with that moist potting soil. Well, actually, this is the starter mix on the top. And then we will make sure that we label this seed as our single seed challenge and variety. And we'll see what happens in a couple of days. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I'm very excited to be participating in the Single Seed Challenge this year in 2023. Thanks again to Black Gumbo Southern Gardening for offering this Single Seed Challenge. Thanks again. Have a wonderful day and enjoy gardening.